Hi, Ben. My name is Waqas Khan, and I'm a legal immigrant from Pakistan.
Well, thank you for coming. Here and to the country.
Thank you for having me, but now I identify myself only as American.
Well, thank you for that, too.
And other than that, I'm a conservative Republican and Trump supporter. And people like you and President Trump made me switch sides. And I was an ex-Democrat, and now I'm a proud Republican.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
So I'm also a Muslim, and I'm very proud of my religion, and I call myself as a Reform Muslim who does not believe in any violent interpretation of the scripture. The problem which I face right now is like being on the right, I see there's an immense atmosphere of distrust, and then on the left there is immense atmosphere of denial and delusion, actually. So how can we, like Reform Muslims like me, who are out there, but we are in the closets, we want to come out,
yeah.
We want to voice out. But whenever I try to do that, especially in the last election, I was intimidated, harassed, and bullied by the liberal left. And I call them like liberal left fascists who just came after any different opinion or voice of dissent. So how can us Reform Muslims who want to live under American Constitution, no other law, American Constitution, can come together and bring the two sides together and find some common ground and tell them like this is the reality and we are willing to live peacefully with the rest of the Americans as they are our fellow countrymen and brothers and sisters.
Yeah, so I mean, so we on the right have an active obligation to provide a loudspeaker for people like you. We have an obligation to provide a loudspeaker for people like you. Because the only way that change is really going to take place in the Muslim world is if people like you are heard. Because one of the big problems is that, as you say, the denialism on the left about the nature of radical Islam and the extent to which it has actually infiltrated some major institutions. You know, the one Council on American Islamic Relations comes to mind, so does ISNA. You know, these are major organizations that have a place with law enforcement. They're talking with the White House, both Republican and Democrat. There's denial that happens because these are the most prominent organizations in the country. And people who are reformists or moderates, you know, they're two separate groups, I understand, but you know, they both are, I think, fighting for the same end, which is a reform inside Islam that would do away with violent interpretations of Islam and tamp them down, and push Islam into a reformation, the likes of which every major religion has gone through. Judaism went through it, Christianity went through it, and it's time for Islam to go through it too. We on the right have to make an active attempt to push people like you into positions where you can speak clearly. So to that end, my email address is bshapiro@dailywire.com, and please email me. I'm happy to print any op-ed by you. I want everybody who is pushing this agenda to have a louder voice. I want everybody who's pushing this agenda to be given a voice, because on the right we have a tendency to say all Islam is garbage, it's evil, it's terrible, we have to crush it. My view of religion, as a religious person, right, as a person who sits here wearing a funny hat, you know, as a religious person, my view of holy documents is that they are open, obviously, to vast interpretation. There's a lot of violent stuff in the Old Testament as there is in the Quran, and it is up to people who I think properly interpret their religion to take over the future of that religion and to promulgate it. So I'll do everything I can to help you, and I hope everybody else in the right wing does the same.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.